Hey, this is Jim at Broadfield. I promise you a great show coming up, and we are going to be introducing the brand new MAKI Live camera from BirdDog. And you see I am being joined in studio by Cameron, our special guest for today's show. Hey, Cameron,
Glad to be here.
thank you for joining us.
Always happy to.
It's always great when we get an opportunity to talk about new products, but also to show off the products. We are going to be showing off the brand new BirdDog MAKI Live camera, available for under $500, along with the MAKI Live Studio, the full live production system that BirdDog has introduced and is now shipping and is going to be available in the next coming week, probably. We're going to talk about all these great products, where they fit into the marketplace and where it's available today, and some of the great opportunities that it opens up for our BirdDog dealers. The opportunities is in that live streaming space. Live streaming is really where broadcast is nowadays, isn't it?
Oh, 100%. It's kind of just been taken by storm now
Yeah.
over the last few years.
Absolutely. We can talk about all the different content creators on YouTube, social media platforms. A camera like the MAKI Live is going to be the upgrade that these content creators are looking for to get that optical image quality far superior than what they're able to produce on their phones. With the MAKI Live Studio, they're getting that multi-camera capability, which really allows them to create some unique workflows that we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, completely. It really opens you up to a whole production studio in a very small package. So super, super useful and super end user friendly.
Absolutely, and that's the name of the game. And I think for those of you who are available, who are knowledgeable in this space, you'll understand that this MAKI Live camera really fits into any of your customers that you've talked to that are using the Mevo cameras. MAKI Live, it really fits in very well in that marketplace. And for us here at Broadfield, it is a great replacement for the Sling Studio, which hasn't been available for a few years now. So if you were successful selling the Sling Studio and the Sling Studio cams to your customers, I think what we're going to see today is that MAKI Live and MAKI Live Studio really fits in nicely into that market, which, if you remember, is a tremendous opportunity. The opportunity is to really help creators stand out. And MAKI does that with some of the features on the camera, right?
Yeah, there's a few big features there. One, in a camera this size, we're getting 3x optical, which
Okay.
is very uncommon. You also have the ability to go digital zoom after that, but you're really getting some true high-end camera features there. Sharp as well. We got 4K out of this, 4K 30, so you're not limited to 1080.
Okay.
It's some really great features.
Absolutely. And now with YouTube and platforms like that supporting 4K workflows and just the amount of sales we've seen in 4K compared to HD cameras, it is a great opportunity here with the MAKI Live. MAKI Live is going to be available a few different ways. The camera itself, $495 MSRP, and these are shipping now, right?
They are right here. So
Absolutely. They've arrived in the US. We're waiting for them to clear. We'll have them right here in the Broadfield warehouse. The control surface that you see in front of us is going to interface with an iPad app, and that control surface is about 2 weeks behind.
yeah, that'll be a few weeks after the camera arrives, but
Okay,
that is right around the corner as well.
perfect. That control surface is $695 MSRP. There are also some great bundles available. The first bundle is with a 3-camera MAKI Live system at $1395, and of course a full production bundle, which is a 3-camera bundle and that control surface for just $1995. So as you can see, for under $2,000, you're really getting a multi-camera suite.
Oh, absolutely. You're getting a full 3-camera setup in switching studio all for under 2 grand. It is hard to beat that.
Absolutely. And that's where we think the tremendous opportunity is going to be. That bundle right there at $1995 is the Sling Studio replacement that we talked about. It is a tremendous opportunity in the marketplace. It is one that customers have been looking forward to. So there's a great opportunity to go after your database and your customers today. So let's talk a little bit about the MAKI Live camera and how it interfaces through everything that BirdDog is doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can see here we have our MAKI Live app right over here. There we go. So this is how you would initially configure and connect to your new camera. Downloads right onto your phone, free app. Super easy to use. it's going to give you two options right off the bat. You can either use the Wi-Fi that you have locally, or for initial setup, use this almost as its own Wi-Fi access point. That'll allow you to connect directly to the camera, no network in between, and then you're going to have access to all of your settings, NDI settings, HDMI settings, everything you'd want to configure on this, all at the touch of your fingers without having to dive into the network itself.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I love that I talked to you guys a lot about at NAB, what BirdDog has done with the MAKI Live app to support the MAKI Live camera, and with the MAKI Studio Live to support the control surface and the editing interface, the apps are available for free.
Absolutely.
It is the access to the hardware that gives you all that power. So when you create that hardware ecosystem, you have the apps to support them, to set them up properly, to get all the features, all the capabilities right there at the fingertips, right on your phone in the case of the app, or an iPad in case of MAKI Studio. Let's talk about that control UI a little bit.
Yeah, so we have our web UI as well as the app. Those are going to be a full color matrix. You can really tune in that color of your camera. You have a cool feature called gesture control, which will allow you to zoom the camera in or out without having to actually touch any hardware. And then you have things like recording to an SD card, which is built directly into the back of the camera, something we've never offered on a piece of hardware before. So if you want your live stream to also be recorded directly, you have that option as well now. Things like your resolution, your frame rate, all of that changed directly in the UI. You know the Bird UI from other cameras, other gear, that's going to look very similar. And then the app itself is going to be super easy to navigate.
Absolutely, and I think that's an important thing for BirdDog resellers to recognize, is that you're taking those control capabilities from the product line that BirdDog is known for with their professional cameras and incorporating that into MAKI Live for the content creator.
Yeah, we want it to feel very natural, that transition from going from our professional PTZ line directly into the MAKI Live. We want it to feel familiar and easy to use.
Absolutely, and for customers who are just being introduced to BirdDog, they're getting that quality difference in getting these pro access tools for things like color control on the cameras. And that's one of the big advantages of the MAKI Live, is filling in that quality gap, right?
Definitely.
And walk us through some of the other great stuff.
Yeah, so we have a few cool features I'd like to touch on quick with this camera. We already mentioned the optical zoom, as well as that digital after that optical. Another great thing is you'll see the halo tally right on the front. That is also fully RGB, so you are able to customize the color on that. It is not just standard green or red. You have full control of what that color is. And then, like we said, it is Wi-Fi compatible, so you'll be able to connect it directly to devices without having to put a network inside of that as well. In terms of how you can use it, it starts out UVC out of the box, out of the USB-C port. We also have optional PoE adapters, like you can see right here, to put it on your network directly. It's got a battery built in as well. That's going to do 6 hours. We've seen 8 hours almost when you're running it down at 1080. So you've got a super long battery life there. AI control. We have, like we said, those gesture controls there as well. And then having that PoE adapter really allows you to take it not just from that webcam UVC world, but to the NDI and full network setups.
Absolutely, and that I think is one of the things I want to point out too, is the flexibility of the camera. With the USB output, that capability you can incorporate easily into a video conferencing as you would with any other webcam. But with that NDI capability, you can easily set it up as an additional camera that can feed into any live production anywhere.
Oh, 100%. It really does fit in every single scenario you needed it.
Absolutely. What's great is you can take a bunch of them, throw them into a box as an install, bring them out to your job, and you can set up under $500 additional camera inputs anywhere in that NDI environment. So that's some of the great things that makes that MAKI Live camera so good, and we've talked about some of the great opportunities. I would imagine there's great opportunities in the education marketplace, and really just all the different verticals that we're talking about here.
Yeah, you have your streaming, your education. We've also seen a lot of podcast studios and things like that. Also in the corporate world, if you want the world's highest end webcam, this is going to be competing for that as well. So if you're trying to tackle a corporate setup, this works. Education, this works. Esports as well, trying to have a high-end quality for the image there. This is going to be a perfect fit. It also has a very wide angle view at 81 degrees. So you're not stressed in those tighter situations. It really does fit in all of these different aspects.
Absolutely, and we will have one in our Infocom booth. So if you are going to be in Orlando, you want to check out the MAKI Live, stop by Broadfield's booth. We will have it set up there, and we're going to incorporate it into some of our corporate AV workflows and environments, so you can learn more about how the camera and how MAKI Live Studio is going to fit into that. So now let's talk a little bit more about MAKI Live Studio, and of course that control surface that becomes that interface to the environment.
Yeah, definitely. So a quick way to describe it is Maki Studio is going to be the app and the software itself, which is doing all the processing directly on an iPad. Like I said, we have an iPad Pro M4 here, so that is going to support up to 6 NDI sources, and then you have your control surface, which allows you to unlock the app itself. App is free to download. That's essentially your license key, is that piece of hardware right there.
Great. And then once you get the app downloaded, you have the control surface set up, you have both the option of using the iPad to control the cameras and to do all of your production. And you also have the control surface itself for the more tactile feel for the cameras itself.
Exactly. If you like that tactile feel, you have that control surface, you're able to use that. But if you want to dive in and you're someone who lives on the screen and love that touchscreen feel, and you just find that workflow easier, you have that right at your fingertips as well. And then we can show kind of some of the cool features of there as well. We have that set up right on this iPad. So you can kind of see what that interface is going to look like. I'll walk through some of the cool features here for you guys.
That would be great.
Fantastic. So as you can see right here, we have our camera list. This is going to show you any camera connected to the iPad, whether that's on the NDI network or, you know, the camera itself on the iPad. Some cool features. You can also set up a picture-in-picture. So if we go right here, you'll see we have that picture-in-picture setup. We have another one built here. If I want to put that live, all I'm going to do is swipe that over, and that is now my live feed. Swipe it back, and we're all good to go. So that's picture-in-picture. We'll put that back onto this. You can add movies as well. So say you have videos downloaded directly onto the iPad. This one's pretty cleared off. But if you have anything in your camera roll, you can bring those in as well. Pictures. I have this beautiful picture of my friend Steve McQueen. We could bring him into our live stream and then put him back out. Transitions. You have a full transition suite. You can see our producer over there. Transition suite, so if you want to do fades, if you want to do flashes, ripples, all those classic transitions, you have the ability to select that here. And if I go on the right-hand side to dissolve, you'll see kind of what that looks like. Beautiful. And then I can hard cut back. You have a T-bar on the software as well as on the hardware itself. So if you want to have a little more control of how that speed is, you have the ability to do that. We have some fun foreground transitions. So if I want to select that, put super foreground on, you'll see we can have a little fun with our transitions. Not just going to be that cut. We have a little more action there. We have the ability to bring in HTML5 graphics. So if you have a graphic suite and you want to lay that over, you're not limited to just NDI sources or what you build on the iPad. You can bring in full professional graphic suites. If you wanted to build your own, you could put our little broad field graphic out on here. Put that back away. So those are some of the cool features. The last one I'll touch on is this right here, is you have a full audio mixer. So if you have all your NDI sources, you can control those here. And then also if you had like a USB audio interface or wanted to bring in some USB microphones to the iPad itself, the ability to change those levels and control that audio right here. So that's some of the cool features that we have on this software. I'm happy to always go in more in depth if needed, but it is, for what it's run on, being just an iPad, it is an extremely powerful piece of software.
Absolutely. And as far as just an iPad goes, the iPad really opens up a huge opportunity to sell these to content creators who are used to using their iPhone for all of this, and they want the better cameras, they want the multi-camera capability. They're going to be familiar with the iPad, and learning the interface is just as easy as you walk through.
Exactly.
Also in education, house of worship, now you can get a younger generation in playing through the iPad, handling everything through that touchscreen interface to really do a multi-camera production very quickly and easily.
Yeah, like you said, this has become a very, very commonplace in the hands of many people.
Yep.
So it's going to feel very familiar, very easy to adapt to, where sometimes hardware itself can be a little bit of a learning curve. This feels a lot more natural for certain people. And so having the option to do this versus the hardware or vice versa is a very nice option in our opinion.
So, Cameron, the different iPad models that are available,
Yes,
they're all going to operate the software.
correct.
But as you get a more powerful iPad, you can pull in more NDI sources, get more of the multi-camera capability, right?
Exactly. So we said with the newest iPad Pro with the M4 chip, that's going to support up to 6 NDI sources.
Okay.
And then the iPads previous to that will support about 3.
Okay.
So you're still getting multi-camera. You're not ever going to be limited to just the one.
Yep.
But the higher processing you get, the more you can do.
And which is great to understand because as we showed earlier, those 3 camera bundles with the control surface, those are going to operate and be usable for your customers with any iPad that's available that they can set up with the newest USB connection, the latest generation of iPad, shall we say. To get more capabilities, stepping up to the iPad Pro, just as they would step up to a better workstation for a video production environment. Of course, the more horsepower you can throw at it, the easier that production is going to be to handle. And now I want to talk a little bit about some of the different MAKI Live workflows, because as we mentioned, it really is very flexible and very capable of being fit into a lot of different areas, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like a Swiss Army knife. It's got a whole lot of different features and a lot of different ways you can connect it. So you can see right here, we have our USB-C right out the back. I can pick this guy up and show you what that looks like in the back. So you're going to have your USB-C port here. Oh, there we go. So that'll be how it comes out of the box. It'll be UVC camera. We also have the PoE adapter, which you could see right here. So if you want to go onto your network, you have that as well. And then it does connect via Wi-Fi. So if you don't want to have any cabling, you don't need it. It's got a built-in battery. It can run fully wirelessly and kind of be put anywhere you need.
That's great. And it also has that NDI capability, which again, from a webcam point of view, you use the USB.
Oh, 100%.
From a live production point of view, I can take that NDI camera, bring it into any OBS, vMix, Wirecast, TriCaster environment. You name it, I have access to that the same way I would any BirdDog professional camera.
Absolutely.
Great thing. Here are some of the specs. We can pull this slide up full screen. You've got about 10 seconds to read it. Nope, I'm just kidding. We can share these specs with you at any time. Reach out to your Broadfield sales rep. We'd be happy to get that. It's really more about the capabilities of the camera and the bundles. The MAKI Live camera works as a single source for any production to get that video onto YouTube very quickly, very easily. And with some of the accessories available, that's a super easy setup, super easy sale at about $500. And then, of course, you can go with Studio and some of the bundles that we introduced as well. Cameron, walk us through these bundles one more time for us, please.
Yeah, so like you can see on the screen, we have our single camera and our single control surface. And then you also have a bundle for 3 cameras and a bundle, which we think is the big seller here, is going to be that 3 camera and the control surface bundle, really giving you a full production studio in one single bundle under $2,000.
Absolutely. And again, that's under $2,000. You grab an iPad on site. Even if your customers need to invest in an iPad, they start at about $350. It is one of the most affordable live production multi-camera systems available on the market today. A great replacement for your customers that are using Sling Studio to do some of those event productions, even taking them outdoors and doing stuff like local sports teams and events like that. Super easy to set up and use. And BirdDog will also be launching a full line of accessories for MAKI Live, giving your customers everything they need. Just walk us through these quickly. I know you talked about the PoE adapter already, right?
Yeah, we got that PoE adapter we showed you earlier. We also have a monitor mount. So if you do want to use this as that webcam, you have that ability as well. And then we do have a tripod, which you can kind of see a little sneak peek of on the table right now, which allows you to kind of put this up. Mount it. It's got a very small footprint on the floor, so really, really easy to use and really easy to set up.
Excellent. So again, the MAKI Live is shipping now, arrived in the US, will be in Broadfield's warehouses very shortly. And we got some other exciting news from BirdDog this week also. BirdDog has announced that they are keeping all pricing consistent. Regardless of the new tariff policies in the US, BirdDog is absorbing the new tariffs and holding all current pricing in place. That means that the MAKI Live is going to be available shortly and launched at that $495 price. The complete bundle with 3 MAKI live cameras and the control surface will be launched at under $2,000. An incredible value for your content creators, corporate AV, education, house of worship, anyone looking to get started in live production. BirdDog is really trying to launch these into a marketplace, support your dealers, support the channel, and support everyone to get involved in this live production space. Cameron, thank you so much for joining us today.
Always a pleasure.
I always appreciate it when we can have a guest come in and show off the product that we're talking about. MAKI Live, if you need more information and pricing, reach out to your Broadfield sales rep at 800-634-5178. If you need product setup information, price sheets, data sheets, you name it, you can reach out to me and my team at jim@broadfield.com. Tune in every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Thanks for joining us today.
Broadfield Distributing is a value-added distributor of live production, streaming, video editing, and storage products. We only sell to resellers. We are always looking for new dealers, so call us at 1-800-634-5178 or email sales@broadfield.com. You'll like doing business with Broadfield because we make it easy to do business.